Howdy folks, welcome back to the Ratings Wars. Sorry there's been a bit of a delay in getting this episode up. I've had a bit of problems with the Elgato. I've tried to sort of tidy up my external hard drive where I save all the data, and I didn't realise that if you move the source files that you create your YouTube videos from, it sort of renders a lot of your footage unusable because it can't find the source footage, and you have to sort of like reformat everything and tell especially Sony Vegas where everything is, because it goes from the initial location. So if you move something you lose everything. I didn't realise that, so I've had quite a bit of a job to just sort of rearrange everything and get all the footage back, but we've managed to do it. So I'm getting the next couple of episodes. Hopefully I should have 2 episodes out for you tonight, so we can get back on track. We're going to jump into the first game of this episode, and you can see that he's starting to build an English budget Premier League team. Maybe he's got Illaramendi there on low chem, he's got Zamali and Jose Callejon. Is that the upgraded Jose Callejon? No, it's not, isn't it? So, yeah, Aruna Kone is very good on this game. Coutinho is very good. Wilshere is underused, but very, very good. You can see here it doesn't take too long. Off kick-off, we cut it to the 5th minute, and it's Strakowski with a lovely little bit of work. Dinks the ball over to Benzema. Benzema can't finish it. It actually comes back off the bar, and in this situation it doesn't really matter how many defenders are around. In that situation it always seems to give the advantage to the attacker, even if the attacker's 5'5" and the centre back 6'6". The attacker always seems to have the advantage in the situation. We're not going to complain. We pick up 1-0. We go into the 24th minute. Guardado slots through Benzema, and Benzema from that sort of range, especially with the keeper out of his goal. Benzema, I'm not too sure what I think of him. He's not the quickest. He's got good strength. He's not the best in the air, but he has got fantastic finishing. You can see we're swinging in the corner. It's that man Gary Cahill who seems to be the dirge of our existence. Really, it always seems to be Gary Cahill that scores against us from corners. Half-time stats: we're well and truly deserving in the lead here, but that doesn't really pay dividends, because in the 52nd minute he slots the ball off to Wilshere and he tucks it into the bottom corner. It's one of those games where I was having all the chances and I couldn't take them, and he got 1 or 2 chances and took them clinically. You can see here Benzema's threaded through. I'm saying he's not very quick and he's not very strong, but he manages to blitz past the defenders and smack it into the bottom corner. He's definitely worth trying. He's quite cheap now. He's very, very cheap for the rating that he is, especially when he's one of the best strikers in the BBVA. Simple goal here. Benzema robs it off the defender, slots it sideways to Strakowski, and you know what you've come to expect from Strakowski now. When he's in that sort of situation, he'll always find the top corner for you. Benzema 2 goals, Strakowski with 2 goals. Of the silver players, does anyone achieve an 8 or above? Yes, Mbia does, but I don't really want to be upgrading Mbia. The CDM options in the BBVA is where they're weak. Xabi Alonso is very good. Sami Khedira is very good. I don't like Alex Song. A lot of people seem to rave about Alex Song. I think it's probably because he's just got a lot more pace than Khedira and Alonso. I don't like him. I find him to be quite weak. He's out of position. He doesn't pass the ball very well. He can't shoot very well. He's really the ideal replacement for Mbia, because in terms of like the pace, the strength, the size, he matches Mbia just as a gold version, but I don't like Alex Song. So we choose not to do any upgrades from that episode, from that match, and we come up against the first IBARBO of the series, and he's one of those players that he's so clumsy, he's so heavy-footed on the ball, he's very, very useless, to be honest with you. Whenever I've used him, I found him really, really clunky, really slow, really cumbersome, but if you play to his strengths, which is just through balls over the top and strength and pace in a straight line, there aren't many centre-backs that can deal with him. We get the game kicked off here, 16th minute, lovely little dink over the keeper from Strakowski there. Mbia is through. I don't trust it. Well, I do trust Mbia's finishing, but I trust Benzema's more, so we just lay it sideways, and Benzema outside of the foot shot across the keeper, 33rd minute, we're 2-0 up, and we're rolling at the moment. We've got 2 wins so far. Sorry, 1 win, and then we're winning the second game. We swing in a corner with Candreva, and it's that man, Stefan Mbia, rising above once again. I don't think Alex Song would do that for us. Mbia will actually, obviously he'll get upgraded in the future because we want to finish with a full gold team, and we can't have a full gold team with a silver player in there, so he will get upgraded. You can see that we lose connection, and of the silver players who achieve 8 or above, it's Strakowski, Mbia and Daniel Carrico, and you can probably guess, because of how much I rave about the other 2, you can probably guess which one's going to be upgraded here. We jump straight onto the transfer market, and we decide to pick up Sami Khedira. You might remember me a couple episodes saying, especially in a 2 CDM formation, you need to have at least one of them is the slow, brute, stud type CDM. Very tall, very big, very wide, a lot of strength, a lot of aggression. Doesn't really move forward. Just sort of he's the blocker. He's the wall in the midfield. He's just there to sort of win the ball back, win the headers, clatter people, nudge them off the ball. That's what Khedira does very, very well. He's got good pace on him. Good pace? No, he hasn't. He's got a good pass on him, is what I meant to say. He's also quite useful in the air with 78 heading. When we put an anchor card on him, which just boosts his heading up a bit more. We're going to jump into the next game, and this is where it starts to unravel for me. He's got a lot of pace on the wings and a lot of pace and strength up front. The rest of the team isn't really much to write home about, although Leandro Bonucci is actually very, very underrated. He swings the first cross in of the game, and it's an absolute scramble in the box, and Mertens scores, and he does that celebration where he's almost apologising. He's like, calm down. I couldn't work out whether he just... that's Mertens' default celebration, or whether he's actually being a nice guy and apologising for the goal. Anyway, you can see here he fails to clear it with the keeper, and from that sort of range, it is unlucky because he's obviously tried to head it to one of his players, and it's auto switched on him, and he doesn't expect the keeper to come out and have to touch it, so he's just panicked, cleared it, and Benzema's picked it up. Yeah, you can see Khedira wins the ball. Trukowski in the middle of the pitch. He runs all the way down to the right-hand byline, sees the runner there for Nelson, slots Nelson through. Nelson crosses it in, and it's Benzema up off the keeper. And again, it's one of those situations where there's three players there, and the midget Trukowski just jumps over all of them because the advantage is always with the attacker. Once again, I have no idea what this guy's doing with the keeper. He rolls it out, completely misses the player, and Benzema picks it up again without his keeper in the net. And I'm feeling a bit cheap. I'm feeling a bit dirty because, to be honest with you, I've benefited off a couple of my opponent's mistakes. But if you're going to make mistakes in an online competitive match, you've got to expect to be punished for them. So we're 3-1 up at half-time, but he manages a slot Candreva through. I can't deal with him. He's probably the best right mid option in the Serie A. I wouldn't say he's the best right winger. I'd say Alessio Churchy's probably the best for that, and Bainey Yang's also very, very good if you want to go non-rare. Anyway, I'm talking about something that doesn't matter. We're 3-2 up at half-time. You can see from the stats it's a pretty even game. Neither of us really deserves to be winning this. He sleds through Mertens, and this is where things start to fall to pieces. He was doing a lot of straight line through balls, a lot of running down the wing, crossing. Basically, he was just abusing the pace of the front three, and I couldn't live with them, especially with Silva defenders and that Silva left back. Juan Franco, I just cannot wait to get rid of because he is absolutely atrocious. And you can see here, I'm not going to commentate over the next couple of goals because they're the sort of goals that you see, you concede, and quite a lot of people score every single day on Ultimate Team. They're nothing special. It's just crossing, it's just running, it's just strength, pace in a straight line. You can see here Mertens bumbles around and bounces off two of my defenders and still manages to stick it in the nets. Mertens, I think he's got about 45 strength, and he still manages to just bounce off people and keep the ball. Candreva gets slotted through, and he's got the long shot taker's trait with about 90 shot power and about 85 long shots, so from that sort of position he's not going to miss. 78th minute, and from a game that I was leading 3-2 at half time and feeling quite comfortable, we're losing 6-3. We managed to get a slight consolation. I actually think Benzema's hit the bar there and missed it, but he manages to just sneak it under. We make it 6-4 in the 90th minute, and I was very, very demoralised and sort of heartbroken after that game, to be honest with you. That's probably a bit too severe, but I felt like I was in charge of that. I felt like I really should have won that game. Anyway, you can see no one achieves the 8 above apart from Benzema, but obviously he's a goal player that we've just put into the team. Sami Khedira makes his debut with an assist, which wasn't too bad, but we still managed to score 4 goals, and when you score 4 goals you expect to get the win. But you can see what we decided to do is we've actually got a couple of free upgrades. We've got 3 free upgrades from 3 hat-tricks scored in previous episodes, and we decided to finally get rid of Ruben because he is letting us down a lot. We decided to go out and pick up Thibaut Courtois, who is outrageously cheap. He's one of the best keepers on the game. I'd say the 2 best keepers for me that I've used were Neuer and then Courtois. And you can get Courtois with the glove chemistry style for under 2k, which is just absolutely outrageous. We swap him in for Ruben, and we are very, very glad to be getting rid of Ruben. As I've said in previous episodes, he's too short for a keeper. So we go out and we get the Belgian 6'6" Courtois, who makes a massive difference in the episodes to come. You can see here on the screen, just as I put him in, our free upgrades have gone from 3 down to 2 now that we've brought Courtois in. That's where we're going to end this episode. Thank you so much for the support I've received so far, guys. I will see you next time. Bye-bye. Take care.